It's great the cable news networks are here tonight. MSNBC owned by NBC Universal. Fox News owned by Dominion Voting Systems. Last year, your favorite Fox News reporters were able to attend because they were fully vaccinated and boosted. This year, with that $787 million settlement, they're here because they couldn't say no to a free meal. And hell, I'd call Fox honest, fair, and truthful, but then I could be sued for defamation. A poison is running through our democracy and parts of the extreme press. Truth buried by lies, and lies living on as truth. Lies told for profit and power. Lies of conspiracy and malice, repeated over and over again, designed to generate a cycle of anger, hate, and even violence.
Ukrainian forces are still in control of a key supply route into the embattled city of Bakhmut, according to a military spokesperson, while a Russian mercenary commander publicly criticized Moscow and demanded more ammunition to finish the fight. Russian forces have been trying for 10 months to punch their way into the shattered remains of what was once a city of 70,000. Fighting has been block by block and house by house, with both sides describing it as a, quote, meat grinder. Kyiv has pledged to defend Bakhmut, which Russia sees as a stepping stone to attack other cities. A spokesperson for Ukraine's forces in the east told a news website that the 17-kilometer stretch he dubbed the Road of Life, leading from the town of Chasiv Yar into Bakhmut, was still under Kyiv's control. On the other side of the front line, Yevgeny Prigozhin late on Saturday said his fighters with the Wagner mercenary group had advanced some 100 to 150 meters further into the city, but he said the effort cost him 94 troops. Prigozhin and his private militia have led the Russian attack on the city and often claim unverifiable successes in videos such as this. In an audio recording published on the Telegram message app, Prigozhin said his losses would have been 5 times fewer if his fighters had more ammunition. In a separate video interview with a Russian military blogger, Prigozhin said his soldiers had only enough ammo for a few days, and said that if he wasn't resupplied, he'd be forced to withdraw. Ukraine, too, has been long crying for more weaponry to sustain its fight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday said a planned spring counteroffensive would not hinge on the arrival of new Western warplanes.
Western-kind aircrafts.
He's been asking for advanced F-16 fighters from the U.S. and NATO allies, but said the planned attack could not wait. On Saturday, a plume of black smoke rose from a Russian fuel depot in the Crimean port city of Sevastopol, which the city's Moscow-installed governor blamed on a Ukrainian drone strike. Meanwhile, civilian casualties continue to mount. On Sunday, the Ukrainian city of Uman held a funeral for 2 children killed by a Russian missile. At least 25 civilians were killed in a wave of Russian airstrikes last week.
So again, we're asking everyone for your help so we can bring this suspect, or this monster, I will call him, to justice.
Texas police say they are searching for Francisco Oropesa, who is suspected of fatally shooting 5 people on Saturday, leaving a small town in southeastern Texas reeling. Police believe Oropesa killed 5 of his neighbors after they had asked him to stop shooting a semi-automatic rifle in his front yard in Cleveland, Texas. The search involves hundreds of officers from different local and federal agencies. On Sunday, investigators said they had no idea where the suspect may be. James Smith is with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Houston office.
But right now, we just don't know. Because if we did, we would have him in custody right now. We do not know where he is. We don't have any tips right now to where he may be. And that's why we've come up with this reward, so that hopefully somebody out there can call us.
Police announced a combined reward of $80,000 for information leading to Oropesa's arrest. The FBI released photos of Oropesa and his tattoo, which appears to be a large female figure on his left forearm. All 5 victims were from Honduras and were believed to be living in the house together. Among them was an 8-year-old boy. 3 other children were found alive, and police believe some of the adult victims died trying to shield them from the bullets. San Jacinto County Sheriff Greg Capers.
Well, the three children that we loaded that night and put in the ambulance, they were covered in blood from the same ladies that were laying on top of them trying to protect.
The bloodshed shook the neighborhood, but neighbor Veronica Pineda told reporters the sound of gunfire was not uncommon for her and her children.
And we went to bed like around 11, I think. And now like around 11:15, I think, 11:30, around there, that's when the shooting like started. So we just heard the shooting, the babies got scared, they went under the blankets and they went asleep.
Police and FBI continued to search for 38-year-old Oropesa in a nearby wooded area 18 hours after the attack, according to Capers.
How do you feel right now with him still on the loose?
Well, it's kind of scary. I have kids. I have 5 kids. And it is kind of scary. You never know where he can be, but I don't really think he will be here anymore.
The sheriff said they were tracking the suspect with dogs, men on horseback, and drones, finding an abandoned cell phone and discarded clothing in the search area.
The Vatican is involved in a peace mission to try to end the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. That's what Pope Francis told reporters on Sunday during a flight home after a visit to Hungary. He added they were also ready to help repatriate Ukrainian children taken to Russia or Russian-occupied land, but gave no further details.
I am willing to do everything that has to be done. There is a mission in course now, but it is not yet public.
The Pope said he spoke in Budapest about Ukraine's situation with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán and a representative of the Russian Orthodox Church, and said, quote, everyone is interested in the road to peace.
I believe that peace is always made by opening channels. You can never achieve peace by closing them. I invite everyone to open relationships, channels of friendship, and this is not easy.
Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Francis has repeatedly expressed a wish to act as a broker between Kyiv and Moscow, so far to no avail. The Pope on Thursday met Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal at the Vatican, who said they discussed a peace formula put forward by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Shmyhal said he also invited the pontiff to visit Kyiv. Francis has said previously he wants to visit Kyiv, but also Moscow, for a peace mission. The 86-year-old, who appeared in relatively good health during the trip, also spoke of his hospitalization in late March. Francis said it was, quote, strong and acute pneumonia in the lowest section of the lung, and thanked God that his body responded well to the treatment. The Pope said there were no changes to plans to go to Lisbon in August for an international youth gathering, and then separately to Marseille and Mongolia.
After an explosive first attempt, SpaceX has successfully launched what it says is the most powerful rocket in the world. The Falcon Heavy rocket was shot up into orbit from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida on Sunday night. Its mission: carry 3 satellites into orbit. In April, a similar rocket exploded minutes after blasting off, causing it to crash into the Gulf of Mexico. Another test last week pulverized enough concrete to raise concerns about its environmental impact and sparked a fire in a nearby wildlife refuge.
We are 30 seconds into flight. Under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust, Falcon Heavy is headed to space. So we're going to throttle up those engines again on these side boosters. You can follow along the telemetry on your left hand, on the bottom left hand of your screen. You can see the speed and the altitude of the vehicle.
Falcon Heavy is following a nominal trajectory.
And good call out on trajectory. And you can see on your right-hand screen, we do have a view of the separation mechanisms from the center core to the side boosters.
Booster engine cut off. Side booster separation confirmed. Both side boosters, FTS is safed.
Great views there. We had BECO, booster engine cutoff, and we watched as those side boosters, and you could see them there on your screen, those side boosters falling
Vehicle
away.
is following a nominal trajectory.
Following away from Falcon Heavy's center core.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And also we're able to see and hear the call out that
Stage 2 is following a nominal trajectory.
the fairing halves have separated. They are now falling back down to Earth, and we will attempt to recover them using our recovery vessel, Doug. And you could see that MVAC engine beginning to shut down. We did hear a call out for expected loss of signal.